What's going on, everybody? How you feeling? How you living? You already know who it is. It's your boy Jay, aka Big Daddy Beard, aka your favorite gamer's favorite gamer. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of my podcast, The Debate Table. Now, for those that are new to this is a segment that I put together where I talk about all different types of fun, friendly, debatable topics. It gives everyone the opportunity to not only tune in, but also share their input, give their take on whatever the topic is that we're talking about, learn as much as possible from everyone coming in, and more importantly, to just rock out and just have some good old fun. So it's actually been a while since I've done these debates. The last one that we did was episode 26, which was about the world of computer animation studio companies. It was a really fun one. I have previous ones that I've done back when I first started the podcast. So if you guys want to check those out, you can definitely do so. Again, it's been a while because, with the Battle of the Beats takeoff, that kind of pretty much took up the bulk of the podcast. But again, I do appreciate everybody that has been rocking out with all of those debates, all of those episodes. Again, shout out to all of the judges, all of the producers, all of the artists that have been a part of that. We do have one more segment coming up before that particular segment wraps up. That will be the tag team tournament. That's going to be later this year. So definitely be on the lookout for that because B.O.B. is far from over. That's right. That's right. We got another one coming. You guys loved the first one so much, so we had to do a second one. So tag team tournament 2 later this year. So definitely be on the lookout for that from the debate table. Thank you, kids. Yes, sir. But yeah, we're going to get into another fun, friendly debate. This is episode 27. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Before we get into it, there is a link that's pinned at the top of the chat. It's for anybody that wants to come up on the panel and join in with the discussion. Now, you don't necessarily have to. I'm not forcing anybody to do so. It's up to you. I can have up to 5 people up on the panel at a time. If you guys just want to rock out from the live chat, you can definitely do so. But if you do decide to come up, just make sure, that you have all your settings in order. Make sure that there's no loud noises or additional volume going on in the background. Again, you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. It's optional if you do decide to come up. You can remain off camera or be on camera like I am. Choice is up to you. Again, I don't pressure anybody to do anything they don't want to over here. But yeah, let's definitely rock out. Pull up a chair to the huge, ever-growing table that I've created for everybody. And let's rock out with this episode. Let's have some fun. All right, so tonight's episode is what I title the Big Three. Now, I know a lot of people have had tons of questions as I've, been leading up and promoting this episode. Like heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. What exactly do you mean by that? So I'll give a more thorough explanation and detail into it. So for me, I've always been a fan of different sources of, entertainment, just the overall world of entertainment, whether it was film, television, literature, sports, music, you name it. And of course, in every single aspect of entertainment, there's always the big three, which are heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. No matter how you look at it, every single aspect of entertainment contains all three. And so, as I've tuned in, as I've listened, as I've watched, I've just seen so many different unique characters, just their backstories, their origins, whoever they are, whatever they're doing. It's just always been really, really dope. I've been thoroughly entertained by it and just amazed by it. So I definitely wanted to have a debate about it to see, what everybody thinks about all three. The world of heroism, the world of villainy, the world of anti-heroism. Because again, each three are very dope and very unique in their own way. So I do have a couple questions I'm going to be asking you guys. I definitely want to get your input and your take on what you guys feel about all three, or even if you have a specific one that you kind of tailor to more so. So I'm going to pull up the questions. Again, to everybody that's coming in, I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome in, welcome in. So definitely have your thinking caps ready. and take your time with answering these questions. It's not going to be like a whole bunch of questions, just a couple of them. But yeah, let's start with the first question. And everybody also too that's coming in, click the poll, the voting poll, and go ahead and cast your vote on which amongst the three do you think is the best. So yeah, definitely do that, and let's get to it. All right, so here are the questions. So 2 questions. Question 1 is, if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? Now, that's the question. While you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to give you a little more detail and insight on what an anti-hero is. Of course, everybody knows what a hero and a villain is, but I think a lot of people don't really know the full aspect of what an anti-hero is. So I'm going to give you more detail on that. So allow me to put on my reading glasses. Oh yeah, y'all thought I had was 2020 prescription based glasses, like what the ones that you see at like CVS or Walgreens. Oh no. If I'm reading anything, I gotta be fly and flashy when I do it. So yeah, ain't no reading glasses, ain't no thick Coke bottle goggles over here. Gotta have my fly and flashy shades whenever I read something. Yeah, you can laugh it up. You can laugh it up. Fly and flashy with any and everything I do. That's just the lifestyle. All right, so here we go. Here's more in-depth detail on what an anti-hero is. An anti-hero is a main character in a narrative, literature, film, TV, etc., who may lack some conventional heroic qualities and attributes, such as idealism and morality. Although anti-heroes may sometimes perform actions that most of the audience considers morally correct, their reasons for doing so may not align with the audience's morality. An antihero is a literary term that can be understood as standing in opposition to the traditional hero. An example, one with high social status, well liked by the general populace. Past the surface, scholars have additional requirements for the antihero. The antihero can be simply defined by 3 factors. The first is that the antihero is doomed to fail before their adventure begins. The second constitutes the blame of that failure on everyone but themselves. Thirdly, they offer a critique or social morals and reality. To other scholars, an antihero is inherently a hero from a specific point of view and a villain from another. Typically, an antihero is the focal point of conflict in a story, whether as the protagonist or as the antagonistic force. This is due to the antihero's engagement in the conflict, typically of their own will, rather than a specific calling to serve the greater good. As such, the antihero focuses on their personal motives first and foremost, with everything else secondary. So there you have it. Full definition of what an antihero represents. So now, going back to that question, if you had your choice between being a hero, a villain, or an antihero, which would you choose? And definitely tell me why. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys my take. Let me see what you guys are saying so far. So, all right, you learn with Robert. He says a hero. Why? Because I'm a good guy, not a villain. Okay, simple, straight to the point. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so again, for everybody coming in, that's the first question. It's pinned down there at the bottom. So definitely feel free to answer that question and, explain why. All right, so for me, let's see. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of between 2 in particular. And I know it's probably going to sound crazy because people would be like, you know, you wouldn't want to be a hero. I think everybody wants to be a hero. And again, nothing wrong with heroes. Heroes are great. I love them just as much as the next person. But me, I dare to be different. I dare to be unique. I dare to stand out. So I've always loved heroes, but my fascination has always been with villains and anti-heroes. Now, I was going to pick villain at first, not because, I'm trying to go out here and just, you know, commit crimes and stuff like that. But, you know, as I watch different forms of entertainment, read about it, learn about it, villains are just so dope. And I've had so many like little mini debates with people about it because I feel like it gives that balance for the hero. Think about it. For every great hero, there's an even greater villain. Think of every single hero villain that you know of, whether it's Batman and the Joker, or it's Spider-Man and Venom, or just a couple examples. But you know, again, when you have a great villain, like one of those characters that you can't stand to the core, to the pit of your stomach, but you still love them so much just because of how good of a role they're playing, like that just makes it dope. Let's take the Joker, for example, from Batman. Everyone hates the Joker, but at the same time, we love him because of just how he gives that balance, for Batman. For anybody that's, a fan of Batman that's ever watched the show, I'm just using that as an example. Like it works so well. If it was just a regular average villain, it would kind of be like, yeah, whatever. But you think about how much of an impact a character like the Joker, a villain like the Joker has become, how iconic he's become. And, how people have grown to love him and hate him at the same time. That's what interests me about villains. Just, their backstory, how they came to be, why they are the way they are. That to me is just all around dope. I'm like truly fascinated by that. And I just think of everything I've ever seen that has always had a really good villain. It's just made whatever source of entertainment it is that much better. Because if it was, like I said, it was just somebody plain, boring, someone of non-interest, it wouldn't be as entertaining, right or wrong. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I just think about that, and that's why I'm a big fan of villains. But as I've learned more about anti-heroes, as I've started to research and dive more into the world of anti-heroism, for me, I got to go with anti-hero. And before I tell you, let me see. Rob said, now if it's a movie role, possibly anti-hero. Okay. So in real life, you would want to be a hero. But if it was like an acting role or something like that, you would more so want to go with an anti-hero. Okay, so explain why. If you want to, because you already explained why you want to be a hero in real life. But if it's for a role, why would you want to go with anti-hero amongst the three? So for me, all around, I got to go team anti-hero. Here's why. For one, anti-heroes are just dope because, again, they have like the best of both worlds. Now, again, most people are quick to just say, "Oh, anti-heroes are bad. They're not good." Quick to bash them and say that their morals and what they do, it really is not for the greater good. It doesn't serve a cause. But really, if you think about it, most anti-heroes are misunderstood because you got to think there's a reason why they're doing what they're doing, right or wrong. Let's just take a couple different examples. Let's take Uma Thurman from the movie Kill Bill. In her in that role, she played the bride. Now, if anybody's ever watched Kill Bill, if you haven't, You guys know that, she had children. She was married. This group of assassins came and took out her whole entire family. Killed the husband, killed the kids, everybody. It drove her to now go and seek revenge on those that she lost. So now it's like, okay, you take mine, I'm going to take yours. So in aspects like that, can you really fault a person of that stature? Can you really fault an anti-hero if, even though what they're doing is wrong, they shouldn't necessarily take the matter into their own hands. Of course, they should let the powers that be, bring people to justice, like the cops or the government, things like that. But sometimes they don't always do it. They don't always do the right thing. So now you got to think about it. What is an anti-hero to do? They got to see to it that justice gets served somehow, right or wrong. So again, you always got to think about an anti-hero's backstory and why they're doing it. Again, I agree, doesn't make it right, but they have a purpose. And honestly, sometimes that purpose, is well deserved. I'll give you another example. Hold on. Let me see. More dynamic range in acting. Oh, okay. To everybody coming in, welcome in, welcome in. The debate topic for tonight is the big three: heroes, villains, anti-heroes. The first question, which is down there at the bottom: if you had a choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? That's the first question. PMC, welcome in. You said anti-heroes are the best? Okay. Give your reason why you're choosing the anti-hero. And again, if you guys want to come up on the panel, click that link. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Feel free to come up. Unless you want to stay in the live chat, feel free to rock out, whatever you guys want to do. Okay, so again, I was giving my take on just anti-heroes. So again, a couple other different examples. Let's take who else? Who's a really good example? Okay, let's take Leon, the Professional, John Reno's character, for anybody that's ever seen that movie way back in the day. Now, John Reno, his character was Leon. In the movie, he was a hitman. Now, of course, most hitmen are straight up anti-heroes. Now, it's not that they are looking to kill. They're assassins for hire. But they only go after people that they know are in the wrong. The mob bosses, the underground criminals, the serial killers, all those types of people. They're going after the bad people. They're not going after the innocent people, because even in that movie, the one thing that Leon said was no women, no children. He's only going after the bad guys. So, it's still not right, because of course, we're supposed to lock these guys up, bring them to justice. But when some of them are just so corrupt, so cruel, so harsh, no remorse for any of the damage and, dealings that they commit, the crimes that they commit. I mean, can you blame these anti-heroes for what they're doing? Can you blame them for taking the matters into their own hands? Especially those that are seeking vengeance. So, like, for example, again, with Leon, the Professional, he was a hitman, taking out all the criminals and whatnot. He got paid to do it. Later in the movie, he had a situation where he had to protect this little girl who was on the verge of getting killed from these crooked police. The commissioner of the movie and the chief of police, head of police, he was crooked. He's making deals with the same people that Leon was taking out. So now he ends up protecting this little girl. He's now showing her the ways of, being a hitman and an assassin and whatnot. So again, those same crooked cops took out her family. So now she's under the protection of someone who's showing her what to do. And so now they're both basically out for revenge. Now, can you blame them? I mean, hell, you take my whole family, like, and the cops aren't doing anything about it, and then come to find out the cops are crooked. You think I'm not going to take the matter into my own hands? And come on, absolutely. John Wick, another one. Keanu Reeves' character in that movie, hitman, retired, wanted to live a normal life. What they do? They took out his. Well, they didn't take his wife out because his wife died. She was sick, but came and took out his dog. Came and jumped him, destroyed his home, everything like that. What's a man to do? I mean, he could go to police, but I mean, he already knew the police, so it's not much they could really do about it. So it's like, hey, all right, you kind of leave me no choice, you know. So that's the thing with anti-heroes, you know, they're pretty much put in a position. They don't have to necessarily do it, but it's because they feel like at that point of no return, they don't have any other choice. So, you know, again, in the public eye, it looks bad, it looks uncivilized, but then to some, it is justified. I'll give you another great example. The show on Showtime, the TV series Dexter. He's the blood analyst, forensics. Now, during the daytime, you know, he works for the police. He does blood sampling for all of the victims that die from different types of like crazy crimes. I mean, if you guys have ever watched that show, you guys already know it's absolutely insane. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah. So by day, you know, he's doing his blood sampling analysis. By night, he's a serial killer taking out criminals and other killers. Again, it's not right. Of course, naturally, he shouldn't be doing it. He works for the police. The police should just take the matters in their own hands. But, you know, he's just taking it a step further. Now, is he wrong? And again, if you know his backstory, his parents killed by those same criminals, those same serial killers that he goes after. So, you know, it just kind of makes you think like, okay, I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah, maybe they could go about it in a different way, but I don't think that they're wrong, you know, as long as justice is being served in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it may not necessarily be the right way, but that's just how I look at it. So for me, if I just put myself in their shoes. If I was ever in that type of situation, yeah, and I feel like no one else is doing anything about it, nothing's being done. Okay, yeah, I'm going the anti-hero route. All right, you take out my peoples, I got to take you out. I mean, something's got to be done. All right, so Proud Mix Child said, anti-heroes take matters into their own hands. And though it's not right, I love how they understand they won't get any justice any other way. So they take matters to their own hands. Exactly, exactly. Even villains have a backstory where they once were on the right side of things, but turned to a life of crime which cannot be justified. But sometimes their actions in dialogue is misunderstood. Now, that is true to an extent, though. That's not the same story for every single villain, though. You have some that were just they the minute they came out the womb, crime and killing and murder, that's all they know. I'll give you a really good example. Carnage from Spider-Man, which is actually one of my favorite characters. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. But if you look at Carnage's backstory before he bonded with the symbiote on the Spider-Man series, he was already a mass murderer, killer by the name of Cletus Cassidy. I mean, deranged. If you don't believe me, go and read his backstory, read his biography. Nuts. I'm talking about throwing electrical devices in the tub to like kill his mom, pushing his grandmother down the steps, often the family pet. I mean, like deranged, you know, and no real explanation as to why he's like that. So, you know, we can't say that for every villain. Some, yes, there's a reason why, you know, they were good, turned bad, but then you have some that just like completely out there. Wick snapped back when they took his dog. They did. Yeah, they definitely took the dog out, and he did what he had to do. But again, I feel like he was justified for that because of the fact that he got that dog to fill in that void of loneliness because his wife had passed. So he had that companionship, and so it was like, now you take that away. I mean, hey, you kind of leave a man no choice. Tony Soprano was another dope anti-hero. And you know what? I used to watch The Sopranos. Oh, you might have to go into further detail with that. I never looked at him as like an anti-hero because I mean he was with the mob. All my years of watching that, I never looked at him as an anti-hero. That's a really good one. Okay. For everybody coming in, welcome, welcome. Again, the topic of conversation is heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. Feel free to cast your votes in the voting poll on which you believe is the best out of the three. And also, feel free to answer these questions that we have pinned. The first question for everybody coming in: if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? So that's the first question. Let's see. Buddy Syndrome, The Incredibles. Okay. After having his own superhero hopes dash, Buddy turns villainous as a means for vengeance. Example of a hero turned villain. Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Deadpool is another solid anti-hero. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And again, if anybody who knows about Deadpool, if you know his backstory, you know why he is the way he is. It's not that he wanted to be. It's just, he had no choice. And again, he kind of falls into that same realm of, like the hitman, assassin for hire. But, he was in the accident. They put him through that Weapon X program, did him dirty. So now he's going after them same people that, did him wrong. But again, for anti-heroes, like I said, it's really not their fault. Yeah, they shouldn't necessarily go in the direction of, offing people and taking them out and stuff like that. But again, when they have no choice, what can they do? I mean, there's so many different ones. Let's see. DJ Sunnyside Up, he said hero. Okay. Why would you go for a hero, but not the main hero like the Oracle? Okay. Okay. Let's see. You said Robin for Batman. Yeah, it's getting good. It's getting good. You guys are definitely, bringing up some really interesting characters. Even some I didn't even think about. You said, when are you gonna get on GTA with us? I gotta find some time. Very soon. Very soon. I'll hit you guys up, outside of this, and we'll definitely we'll talk about it. But yeah, definitely, I'm gonna hop on it with you and Kel for sure. We'll definitely make that happen. Okay. So yeah, again, everybody, that first question: if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? So definitely take your time with that one, and let me know what you guys would choose for those that haven't answered yet. But yeah, I'm team anti-hero. I just feel like, anytime you're in one of those situations, your back's against the wall, you have no choice. I mean, what are you to do? I mean, and again, especially you look at some of these other like anti-heroes that have, been put in these like really tough predicaments. It's like, again, they're almost left no choice. I'll give you another example. Frank Castle, the Punisher. You guys remember? His family got taken away from the mob, got killed off by the mob. So what does he do? Now he's going after all of those people, not only those people that took out his family, but now he's going after other people just like him. I feel like he's justified for that. I mean, hey, kill my family, cops don't do anything about it. Hey, probably not the right decision to do. But hey, I mean, again, I feel like, what I call them? I call them justified vigilantes. That's how I look at every single anti-hero. So that's just my take on it. That's how I feel about it. Let me see. Oh, thank you for the donation. Shout out to Diamond Surge, $10 donation. Thank you for that. Thank you for helping me hit the goal for this episode. I truly appreciate that. Okay, so Chevy, you said Scarface. Oh, okay. Oh, Scarface is a good one. Okay, well, wait, hold on now. Hold on. What are you putting Scarface under? Because that's a real good one. What would Scarface? What would Tony Montana be categorized? Hmm, that's a good one. Damn. Because you can't. He's not a hero. What would he be placed as? That's a good one. Damn. You got me there. You got me there. Charles Bronson, Paul Kersey of Death Wish, anti-heroes. I've never, I've heard about Death Wish. I've never really followed it though. Oh man. Hold on, let me see what else you guys are saying. Okay, let me go back up. Love Deadpool. I love Deadpool too. Deadpool is absolutely dope. Probably one of the dopest anti-heroes out. Tony Soprano's constant struggle to balance the demands of his criminal life with the desire for a more conventional existence resonated with the viewers. Okay. Okay. That is okay. That does kind of fall under the anti-hero a little bit. Okay. Okay. It is like me in my life. I like helping my artists, producer, like supporting hero. Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Again, there's no right or wrong decision or choice. Whichever you guys choose, hey, that's what's up. I just want to know. I just want to get more insight and more perspective from everybody else outside of myself. Because, these are the type of debates that most people don't usually have and you don't really hear them talk about. You might mention it, depending on what you're doing or what you're watching or whatever's going on at the moment. But, we never really get a chance to tackle these specific type of topics, which, just not only is like a learning curve and is educational, but it's fun, it's friendly, it challenges the mind, it gives you guys something to think about. So delivers of karma. Okay. Okay. Chevy, you said anti-hero. Okay. Why? You ever watched the TV series The Boys? I have watched that, and I hate Homelander. And again, this just goes back to what I was saying. Behind every great hero is an even greater villain. And I hate Homelander with a passion. You ever just that's what I'm saying. You ever just hate a villain so much that you love them because of how great of a role they're playing and how they just take whatever you're watching or whatever you're reading or viewing, how they just take it to that upper level. That's what Homelander does. Think about how plain he would be if, he wasn't the way he is. He is just he's the epitome of just having no remorse, just being corrupt, just not giving zero, what. So, I hate him, but I love him because of how iconic of a job he does to take that show and other shows similar like it with those other type of villains to that higher plateau. I mean, so many. You won't call me up now. No. You can come up. Yeah, click the link. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Anybody that wants to come up, come on up. Feel free to come on up. Tony Montana lacks many of the traditional hero traits. He starts the movie as a good guy, but his life of crime and drug use lead him to become violent and greedy, signs of anti-hero. Hmm. That is very interesting. Wow. I never looked at Scarface like that. So, cause yeah, in the beginning, yeah, he was good, and then he turned bad. But I don't, I don't know if I agree with him being an anti-hero though. I get what you're saying though, PMC. That's a very good thought out comment right there. I don't know if I could still put him in that anti-hero thing because, I mean, he did a lot of foul stuff to get to where he was. It wasn't, like, okay, they put him in a position and stuff like that. He was just all about the greed and the power. So he kind of became more villainous. He kind of started with it like as a hero and kind of went more on the villainous side. You never saw Death Wish? You know what? I've heard of it. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it. So um one of these days I'm gonna watch it though. Oh, appreciate you sharing it out. Thank you, thank you. He said, I want to be a Meteor Man type of hero. Hey man, so many people slept on Meteor Man. People don't realize how dope Meteor Man is, man. Shout out to Robert Townsend, man. One of my favorites right there, absolutely. Also, despite his immoral actions, audiences can still support Tony because of his strong motivation to get his family out of poverty. Okay, you're making a good argument now to where it's okay. I can kind of see the anti-hero um, semetics of it. Okay, okay. It's just, you know what? Maybe I gotta watch Scarface again to really see it because for me it was just kind of like it was like hero turn villain. Couldn't stand Loki but appreciate his character. Exactly, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean when I talk about those villains that you hate them so much, but again, they are so good at just playing the role to the point where it's just like, damn, it's like I hate them, but I love them, and that is it right there. I appreciate the character so well. Um, Heath Ledger, his role as Joker in what was it, The Dark Knight? Hated him, but he did such a damn good job to where it's just like you got to just kind of tip your hat to him, like, man, man. And this is actually kind of leading into the next question, so this is really good. He started off as a broke immigrant and rose to power to become a powerful man. Okay, who are you talking about exactly, Chevy? Who you mean by there? Again, everybody, welcome in. Appreciate y'all coming in. For those making their way in, the topic of conversation is heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. Um, Type in the voting poll which one you think is the best amongst the three. And again, the first question is if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? So that's the first question. So again, for everybody coming in, go ahead and answer that question. Take your time with that one. But we're getting ready to go into question two, and this is kind of leading into everything else that we're like getting further into the conversation about. If I can't be Meteor Man, I'm going to be a black man. Meteor Man definitely was like the epitome of like the dope black superhero, you know. Yeah, everything about Meteor Man is dope. There's nothing I can hate about that. Now, Scar from the Lion King, straight foul, grimy villain, no debate about it. Exactly, exactly. But I love Scar because again, even though Lion King is such a dope, iconic movie, not this remake live action BS. No, I'm not feeling these. Not this, not the first one, not this Mufasa one. Nah, they could do without those. But that animated Disney one, telling you, you got to think about it. Lion King was dope, but think about how much doper that movie elevated because of how Scar was. Like, from the voice to just the looks, even his songs and stuff. Be prepared. That's still that banger. I don't care what nobody says, but that's what I mean. When you got those type of villains, it's just like, you want to come through the screen and then choke them. But again, they just take it up another notch. So, as much as you hate it, you gotta appreciate it. So that rhymed too, by the way. So, oh, you're speaking on Scarface? Oh, okay, got you. Because you said he, I wasn't sure if you were talking about from Death Wish. Okay, Blank Man. Blank Man's another one, another dope hero. Yeah, we can't knock Blank Man. Those Blank Man and Meteor Man, they are so slept on. I'm actually glad they didn't do sequels because the way the movies ended, they were really good. But yeah, very very dope there. All right, so again, for anybody that hasn't answered question one, definitely go ahead and do so. But yeah, let's get into question two. Now, yeah, right, heavy throwbacks, heavy. So here's question two. Which fictional characters from the entertainment world would you place into your Mount Rushmore? Now, before you guys answer, let me kind of explain how the Mount Rushmore works. So, you know how most people have a top five? I correlate to the Mount Rushmore. Anybody that knows Mount Rushmore knows that it consists of the four presidents, so it's four slots. But what I like to do to, make it and give it that top five type of setup, I do the Mount Rushmore and I do what's called an honorable mention. So basically, you have four solidified picks that you would put in your Mount Rushmore, and your honorable mention is your fifth one that didn't make the four, but will still give it the setup of having a top five. So your honorable mention, and your four solidified Mount Rushmore. Now, for this particular one, because we have three, you guys have two choices. You can do one list where you mix and match all the different heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. You can do that, or you can do three separate lists for all three. So it's your choice how you guys want to do it. So take your time, think about it. Whichever one you want to choose is up to you. Of course, the more the better, because I know there's a lot of dope heroes, dope villains, dope anti-heroes. And again, this can be from all aspects too. I'm talking about movies, film, television shows, TV series, literature, comic books, music, sports. Yeah, there's villains and anti-heroes and all that in those too. It may not seem like it, but there are. Every single aspect of entertainment. It can be fictitious. It can even be non-fictitious. So as you guys are thinking about that, go ahead and start to put that together. Let me know if you guys need the Jeopardy music too. If you guys need some Jeopardy theme music, I can kind of throw that on when you guys are giving your list and whatnot. But yeah, you have a choice to do either one. You can do one list with a mixture of all three, or you can do three separate lists. So yeah, Mount Rushmore and honorable mention. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, I had to really think about it, and I changed my list up quite a lot because there's just so many. When I just thought about every single entertainment aspect, I was like, hey, it's a lot. It's more than I thought. So I definitely had to do three lists. There was no way I was going to get around to doing just one list and just mixing all of them up. So I had to do that. He said, Junebug Spade was a hero. You talking about Junebug from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? They were so slept on. Yeah, they were, Rob. They definitely were. My man said Junebug Spade. You got to explain how he was a hero, because that's hysterical, Shelly. All right, so PMC looks like you just doing the one list. Okay, you said Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Nightwing, Bane, and Galactus. Okay. Okay. That ain't a bad list there. It's not a bad list. Arthur Harrow or the Molecule Man would be my honorable mention. Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. Well, you named five right there. So that's why I thought Galactus was your honorable mention. So you amongst those five, you would have to take one of them out. So which one would you take out of those five that you mentioned? Okay. So yeah, here's my list here. So my list might surprise you a little bit. So, and again, if you want to explain why you picked those people, you can do so. You don't have to. It's not forced or anything like that. But let's see. So for mine, all right, I'm gonna start with the heroes. Oh, Nightwing got to go. Okay, all right. So you said, let me see. So you got Galactus, you got Bane, Doctor Strange, and Mr. Fantastic. Okay, all right. And then your honorable mention is Arthur Harrow or the Molecule. Okay. So between Arthur Harrow or the Molecule, if you had to choose one, which would you pick between those two? I know it's tough, but take your time with it. All right, so here's mine's. So for heroes, and I just kind of went all over the place with just different ones, people that just like popped in my head that just came to mind. Okay, Molecule Man. Okay, okay. So Arthur Harrow's your honorable mention between those two. All right, got you. So for heroes, I got Spider Man. I got Denzel Washington's character in John Q. Sigourney Weaver's character in the Alien franchise, Ellen Ripley. Kobe Bryant. And for honorable mention, I had to go with Nas. All right. So I know y'all probably like, wow, probably weren't expecting that. Here's the reason why I picked John Q. That movie was so damn good. I mean, for Denzel to do what he did, to go through hell and high water to make sure that his son got that transplant so that he could live on and have a great life. Like, when you talk about heroism, I mean, it don't get no better than that. I mean, that is just like, wow. I mean, and I don't really cry at a lot of movies, but I ain't gonna lie, I got kind of teary eyed seeing that because I mean, he made sure that. And then just that iconic line in that movie where he said, my son, he's like, I'm not gonna bury my son. My son's gonna bury me. What? Damn. And again, he doesn't fall under the anti-hero because even though he held people hostage, he didn't kill anybody. He didn't slaughter any innocent lives. He made sure those people were going to do their damn job. And it ain't too many people that would, go through leaps and bounds to do that. There are some that would, but I mean, for him to do what he did and to see that, justice was served and see that his son got that treatment, that's powerful right there. I mean, like I said, that's the epitome of a true hero, in my opinion. So that's why I threw him on the Mount Rushmore there. I'm not big on heroes, so I will go Gandhi, Marcus Aurelius, Martin Luther King, and Nelson Mandela. Okay. Hey, look, that's a solid list right there. That is not bad at all. Okay. Deep movie, very deep. Very deep. And oh, you said Buddha as your honorable mention? Okay. Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. So yeah. Spider-Man again. Spider-Man's my favorite comic book superhero all time. Again, just his story, from tragedy to triumph, losing his parents, you know, having to stay with his aunt and uncle, losing his uncle, then years after he became Spider-Man, losing his aunt, and for him to still have the strong mindset to go out and use his abilities to make a difference and really help the people, be there for the people, even though the people bashed him and said this and that, and he's you know he's whack, he's weak, he's just a vigilante, like for everything that he's had to endure, for him to still be strong-willed and still continue to do what he's doing, to make the sacrifices he made. Again, that's why I say Spider-Man is the best, because I mean, and he don't even got all the crazy powers and abilities as most of these other heroes, but again, using what he has to do what he needs to do and still be able to do all of that and still have a smile on his face afterwards, after it's all said and done. I mean, come on. I mean, that if that ain't a true hero, I don't know what is. Like, that's real right there. I mean, because damn, I ain't but so much you could take before it's just like, all right, I could throw in the towel. But to lose family members, lose loved ones, all the sacrifices he makes, and still be an impact and still prove to people that anybody could wear the mask. I mean, like I said, the story of Spider-Man is just, it's so much deeper than just him being, just another superhero. Like, I mean, I've read so many comics, I've watched all the movies. I mean, that's why he's my favorite. I mean, like I said, it just that's a whole nother level of heroism. Even though it's fictitious, still, like Stan Lee, like his vision behind that is just like out this world. That's why he's like one of my biggest influences. That's why he's my favorite all time. I mean, that's just, man, like, wow, major. Again, everybody, welcome in, welcome in. Susie B, you said you like the Hulk. Okay, all right. So again, for everyone coming in, that first question: if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? And then second question is, what fictional characters from the entertainment world would you place into your Mount Rushmore? Now, again, I meant to also say non-fictitious as well, but again, any heroes, villains, and anti-heroes that you could think of, you can do one of two things. You can either mix and match them into one list, 4 solidified ones for your Mount Rushmore and 1 honorable mention, or you can do 3 separate lists for all 3 and do a Mount Rushmore for each one. Okay, so Rob said heroes. He said Harriet Tubman, Akeem, Coming to America, Professor X, and Bruce Leroy, the Last Dragon. Akeem? Coming to America? Really? As a hero? Huh. Yeah, you gotta get some more insight on that one, because I never looked at him as a hero. I just look at Coming to America as like, an iconic comedy. But Akeem from Coming to America is a hero? Yeah, you gotta elaborate some more on that one. You've sparked my interest right there. All right, PMC said Black Panther, Malcolm X, Leo Barnes from The Purge. Ooh. John Shaft, and honorable mention Bruce Lee. Ooh. Okay. I'm always villain. They were always the good guys, says Bronze. Okay. Show enough. from Last Dragon is one of your favorite villains. Okay, his father wanted him to go a different direction. He stood up to his father. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, but does that? I mean, I feel like that's what anybody does. I mean, hey, to each his own. I just never. I mean, I've stood up to my dad, but I don't know if that's like really. I mean, does that kind of fall under heroism? Oh, okay. Based on the culture, it was something you had to do. Arranged marriages, he broke the traditional aspects. Okay, so in your eyes, that's a hero, like someone that's like, okay. Now that you've kind of like further explained it, I get you now. All right. That's an interesting one though. That because yeah, anybody that does that, yeah, that's definitely, that takes a lot of guts, because most of the time they're not even allowed to do that. So okay, so yeah, breaking the code, got you. Not specifically in African culture. Got you. Okay, all right, that's not bad though. That's not bad. Okay, so I had, like I said, let me see. I said Spider-Man. I said, who's the other one? Um, oh, and Denzel Washington, John Q. Okay, so Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver's character in Aliens. Here's why. My mom put me up on the Alien franchise back when I was a kid. She thought I'd be scared of it, but I wasn't. But very, very dope franchise. If you haven't seen any of the Alien movies, definitely watch them. With the exception of Skip Alien Resurrection because that one was terrible, and skip Prometheus because that one was whack. All the other ones are good though. I still got to watch the most recent one, the Romulus. But yeah, Alien Alien 1 through 3 was great. Three was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't terrible. It's still a good watch though. 2 was the best one though. The first one was great, but 2 was a great sequel. Probably one of the best sequels for any movie ever in the history of filmography. Okay, but here's the reason why I picked Ripley. Ripley is a G. Let me repeat that again. Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. She is a G. First off, ain't no way in hell. I'm just speaking for me. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to be up in space, even dealing with or even fighting any type of alien species of that magnitude. Hell no. So that takes a level of courage and bravery and heroism that I ain't never seen, especially on the second Aliens, when the little girl, Newt, her family got killed, while she was up there and she was kind of like orphaned and stuff on the ship. They found her, they took her under the wing. Ripley basically was kind of like a mother like figure to her, and all the while trying to protect her from the aliens and stuff. When she got abducted, like I think the queen sent a couple of like the worker aliens after her, kidnapped her, and they basically put her in that chamber. Because you guys know, like, if anyone who's ever watched Aliens, you know how they basically multiply. They have those weird looking hand creatures. They're called the face huggers, and inside is like the little embryo. And basically what they do is like they're in those gigantic eggs, which look real nasty. They hatch, thing jumps on your face, wraps its tail around you, suffocates you to where now your mouth is like open, shoots the embryo down your throat. Long story short, the embryo basically lives rent free in your chest for, I don't know, a couple hours or however long, starts putting up, photos and pictures, purchases IKEA furniture and stuff like, oh, that's pretty nice in here, pretty spacious. And yeah, they basically just kind of live right in this little region until it's time for them to hatch. Once they're big enough, then they burst through your chest. It's crazy. It's like watching it's like So long story short, the queen sends the henchmen. They snatch up the little girl Newt. They go to take her to the chamber where all the eggs are about to hatch and do what they do and stuff. So Ripley grabs like the flamethrower, all her other people that she went with out on the ship and stuff to investigate what happened and stuff. Most of them are either dead or they're scared. She was on some OG-ish, like grabbed the flamethrower, went after her, got her out of there, confronted the queen. This was probably the most OG scene I've ever seen. Is in the chambers where all the eggs are, is looking up at the queen, holding Newt, got the flamethrower on one hand, Newt in the other, and it's just looking at her like, yeah, I'm here. What's up? And the queen looking back at her like, oh, you a bold one. And she's just like got the flamethrower ready, just pointing at the eggs. Like, I dare one of these things to hatch. I'll burn this MFer to the ground. And she's trying to like basically tell the queen, like, don't do it. Don't hatch these. That one egg hatch, she let them things burn, took off, tried to hop on the ship, tried to get out of here with Newt. The queen said, hell no. Invaded the ship, brought her back. They ended up having that big brawl. And she said that dope, iconic line when the queen was trying to kill Newt. She hopped in that big robotic suit, was like, you get away from her, you bitch. And the queen starts snorting. I'm like, yo, that is some OG-ish, because ain't nobody in their right mind doing that. So I'm like, man, kudos to Ripley. So yeah, that's definitely a hero right there. I don't get no better than that. Because ain't no way in hell. I'm sorry. Newt would have been on her own. I'd have been trying to find the first ship and I'd have been out of there. No, sir. No little face hugger thing jumping on my face. Hell no. So another level of bravery. All right, Rob said for villains, Heath Ledger, Joker, Denzel Washington's character, Alonzo Harrison, Training Day, Thanos, and Magneto. Ooh, ooh, that's a solid list right there. Okay, okay. Um, Only thing though is Magneto falls under anti-hero. Technically, he's an anti-hero. They just labeled him in most of the multimedia as a villain, but he's really an anti-hero. And it's funny that you actually put him because he's actually on my list as well. So yeah, I agree. Sony, yes, she is. Yes, she is. Because I mean, first off, most females wouldn't even do that. I mean, well, let me not say that. I'm sure they would. I don't know if they would do that in that particular situation because that's scary as hell to be up there with all those aliens and stuff like that, all those damn eggs with the things ready to hatch, and just, I mean, yeah, yeah. She set the bar. In the end, he was an anti-hero. Yeah, he kind of played both fields, pretty much throughout, you know. Because you got to remember, like, even like prior to like the X-Men, forming and growing, he was kind of already on the defense, because him and Charles Xavier always butted heads. So he always played the anti-hero role. He went back and forth a lot, but you know, he still falls under the anti-hero because again, he was a villain, but at the same time, he was also an ally. So he double dutched a lot. But I mean, that's Magneto though, so we can't say anything bad about it. Magneto's OG. I don't care what nobody says. In the end, he was handy. Oh, okay, I read that already. Most definitely. Sanaa Lathan as Lex and AVP was dope too. Ah, mm. Here's a problem with that. Here's a problem with that. I don't like Sanaa Lathan's character in that because I just felt like she was just trying to be the black version of Ripley. Can't nobody do what Ripley did. After that, especially after that whole explanation I gave, what she did in the second Aliens movie, yeah, and I get it. They wanted to have another spin off and stuff. Yeah, you can't take Ripley's spot. You know, it's just like that's like trying to say LeBron is better than Jordan. Good, but not quite though. Sanaya just nah. She's LeBron. Ripley's Jordan. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you on that one though. Sure enough, yes, sir. And true, exactly. Remember, Magneto always double dutch. He never stayed in just one. He never just remained a villain, but he never just remained a hero. I'll put show enough on the villain, place Magneto on the anti-hero. It's okay. A lot of y'all say it's show enough. Is it like an anniversary of Last Dragon going on that I don't know about? I can't put show enough in the villain role. He was one of those villains I couldn't. You can't. There's certain villains you just can't take serious. That's one villain I can't take serious. And another one who just I could not take him serious because y'all brought it up. Was Meteor Man. I couldn't take Simon from the Golden Lords seriously. Like, no, I just the Golden Lords altogether. I could not take them serious as villains. They were very good though. They definitely made the movie entertaining. But come on, the Golden Lords, and then they had the little 5-year-olds, the baby lords. Like, get the hell out of here! What? Simon, like, there was nothing threatening about him. Now, Debo, everybody forgot Debo was in that movie. He was one of the Golden Lords. He was more threatening out of everybody. But it was like, no, I couldn't take Simon seriously. I couldn't even take Don Cheadle seriously. Even the other little goofy one, the light skinned one, the one that gave Simon the gun and he was getting ready to shoot Robert Townsend, but then James Earl Jones threw that record and knocked the gun out of his hand. Yeah, he threw his brother in the trash can in front of his dad. Yeah, but still though, that wasn't threatening enough. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, come on, based on that time frame. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But yeah. Now I really want to watch Meteor Man. Damn, y'all done threw that in my head now. Oh man, I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying, but I can't take Simon or Show Enough serious enough. Not as villains. They were good. They were good for what they did at that time. But yeah, I can't take them seriously. Ultron can't be taken seriously either. Exactly. Exactly. I laughed at Ultron. I did one of those that type of laugh. Like, stop it. But yeah, for everybody coming in, welcome, welcome. The topic of conversation, we having a ball right now. It is heroes, villains, and anti-heroes, the big three, as I like to call them. First question is, if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? That's the first question. Second question is, you can do one of two things. You can create a Mount Rushmore as well as an honorable mention, which will give it a top 5 setup of mixing, matching villains, heroes, and anti-heroes, or you can do 3 separate lists for all 3. So the choice is up to you for question 2. If you want to just do one list with all 3 incorporated, or 3 separate lists. So yeah, let me get back to it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this, and I'm having a ball right now. This is funny. Bruce Leroy's daddy just watched his son get tossed in the salad, get tossed like a salad from Olive Garden. He did. And yeah, but that's the thing though. That Show Enough and his whole crew, nothing was like intimidating by them. Even the guy that kidnapped Vanity and stuff, the white guy, Leroy, the one he kind of gave off like the little Danny DeVito vibes. I forgot his name. The one that he ended up working with alongside Show Enough, because he was basically trying to set him up so that he could fight Bruce Leroy. Even him, I couldn't take him seriously. Just like Michael Minnelli from Blank Man. I couldn't take him serious either. Just good villains though, just not taken seriously enough. Dope discussion. Got to head out for work in the AM. All right, PMC, appreciate you coming through. Feel free to drop in anytime. Okay, so this said the anti-heroes: Wolverine, Magneto, Terminator, Agent Smith from the Matrix. Oh my God, Rob, get out my head, because you are literally naming some of the same people that I have in my list. That is crazy, man. How great minds think alike. Okay, so let me get back to my list. Hold on a second. Okay, so who else did I name? Yeah, I named Ripley. Okay, Kobe Bryant. What's crazy with that? Rest in peace, first off, to the Mamba. For as long as I can remember as a kid watching basketball, I don't know why. I guess the media just always portrayed Kobe as like a villain. But I guess, as I got older, I realized that was just from, a competitive nature. That was just kind of always his mindset, to kind of always be like a villain, even though he wasn't in real life, but just a villain on the court. So I had a higher level of respect as I got older and recognized that. But what's crazy? And an interesting fact that Kobe Bryant shared before he passed. He said that during his pregame rituals, he used to always listen to what was the theme music? He listened to the Halloween Michael Myers theme music before every single game. That was how he was able to get into that like killer attack mode when he was on the court. And I'm like, that is interesting as hell, because that's the epitome of like a villain. So, to hear that was his like pregame ritual music that he listened to before every single game is like, man, that's crazy. And it just showed when he got on the court. But, even though, he kind of portrayed a villainous type of side on the court, off the court, just watching his documentary, everything that he did, from his philanthropy to like all the people that he inspired and influenced and stuff, that whole Mamba mentality, it was just so dope. I got a chance to watch his documentary, the Dear Basketball, and it just made me have an even higher level of respect for him. Like after that, I'm like, man, like this guy was really dope, really multi-talented. So yeah, I had to throw him in the hero slot. So yeah, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean Bryant, the Mamba. And for the honorable mention, I had to go with Nas. Reason why is because I'm such a fan of, like, he has so many different songs that are not only just inspirational, but just really make you think and just make you just almost kind of change your perception and your way of thinking, you know. And again, just stuff that was just slept on, but just had a great positive message. I mean, again, you have a lot of rappers, you know, a lot of conscious rappers, but you know, to me, when it comes to like Nas, like I don't feel like there's any other conscious rapper on that level, like that's doing the type of creative songs that he does, you know, like, you know, and just teaching the youth and the younger generation to, you know, with stuff like, okay, like he has a song called Last Words where he describes himself as a prison cell, and he's talking about like basically all the bad things about being in the form of a prison cell. But if you listen to it, it's a deeper message that he's basically saying, look, this is my way of saying like stay out of jail, because you end up here, this is what you could end up becoming. Like your life becomes like a prison cell. You are a prison cell. And if you listen to it, it's just like, man, it's dope. Same thing with I Gave You Power, where he describes himself as a gun, you know, and he's just talking about all the things that come with having a gun and how people feel like they have that entitlement and that power when they hold that 9mm in their hands. But listening to the message, it's a lot deeper, because he's basically saying like, look, you know, this is not what you want. This is not what you should get your hands on. This is not what really gives you power, even though you think that it does. So it's just like, damn, like that's deep as hell. And then of course, those uplifting songs like I Know I Can Be What I Want to Be. So yeah, just dope creativity on the highest level. So yeah, I had to throw him in there as an honorable mention. I really didn't like him until he retired. Oh, you talking about what are you talking about? He was a carbon copy of Jordan. He was. But I've heard a lot of like, I love Jordan, but I heard a lot of bad stuff about like Jordan and stuff. You know, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard more bad stuff about him than I've heard from like Kobe and stuff. You Can Hate Me Now. It was like my theme song. Yeah, yeah. And Nas is like same thing. Exactly. So Randy Stampy from Pinky and the Brain. As what do you put him under, Cowboy? Which one do you label him as? One Mic, exactly. Like I'm telling you, he just had those thought provocative songs that, you know, you could learn. You could like it was motivative, it was inspirational, it was deep. I mean, and you know, it's just life lessons and stuff. So I mean, that's just like that's the epitome of a hero, you know, really teaching you and stuff. You know, again, you have others like him. You got your Lupe Fiascos, your Commons, you got you know, your KRS Ones, but Nas is just a different level of just inspirational creativity, you know, heroic creativity that I look at whenever I listen to his stuff. So that's my hero list. All right, so for villains, and it's actually kind of funny because Rob names a few of them in his list that I kind of have in my list. So I have for the villains, I got the Homelander from The Boys. Ugh, that is it's basically, if you ever watch The Boys, Homelander is he's the knockoff Superman, but he's the dark, evil Superman, the corrupt, you know, I don't give a you know what, no remorse. He's that one. He's the opposite of what Superman is. So, man, I have never hated so much with such a sheer passion. Like when it comes to just villainy, like like I love that show, by the way, too. If you guys haven't got a chance to watch The Boys on Amazon Prime, definitely check it out. It's a very, very dope show, especially if you're into like superheroes and stuff like that. You know, even if you're into like DC comics. I'm not a DC fan. I'm more of Marvel, but I'm a big fan of that show. But yeah, I hate the Homelander with such a passion. But again, the guy that plays the role of Homelander on that show, he does a damn good job. Love to hate. Love to hate. Top one on lyrics. Exactly. Definitely the lyrics. Definitely. Yeah, he was thrown off Homelander. He's on something. Like, I mean, dude is just he's wild. I mean, and you know, right. That's what I was like just dating back to earlier, how it's like those villains that you love to hate. You know, that's one thing about, I don't, necessarily condone people like doing bad stuff, but when it just comes to entertainment, I love a good villain. Like again, it's always gonna be that love to hate relationship with them because they do so well. Yes, he is. He's playing the hell out that role because he is really making me hate him. And it's a lot of people like those actors and actresses. They play the role so well that people really look at them like that in real life, even though they're nothing like that. And it's kind of sad because some of them get like, like death threats and notes and stuff like that. I don't think people need to take it that far. It's not that serious, but I just still appreciate how dedicated they are, how passionate they are to playing that role and taking it to that next level. But yes, definitely he playing the hell out of that role. Um, Carnage from Spider-Man. People say they love the Joker, and I love the Joker too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, when it comes to just a fictitious, insane villain, I don't think anybody tops Carnage from Spider-Man. Again, I mentioned him earlier. Cletus Cassidy, he was the massive serial killer. I mean, this man offed his family, friends. I mean, you talk about crazy, deranged, insane. Just, I mean, everything that you could think of, he is that. And like, no signs of ever going good or ever turning a new leaf. Like, just born a villain, die a villain. That's his mentality. I mean, and then when he bonded with the symbiote, after it spawned off of Eddie Brock's Venom symbiote, that just made it even worse. So, but man, and one of Spider-Man's toughest opponents, one of the hardest opponents that he like struggles to defeat and beat. But man, like read his backstory, y'all be like, oh, the dude is crazy. And the thing, there's people out there really like that really are like Carnage, but man, that is the villain of villains right there. All right, so he's in the Mount Rushmore. And Bison from Street Fighter. Man, even though Bison is one of my favorite characters to fight with on Street Fighter, just watching like, all the animated series and shows, ugh, I can't stand him. Man, like he's another one. You know what I think it is? I think it's just he's kind of like Carnage, but he just doesn't make it any better with that smile, that villainous smile where he's just showing all 32 of his teeth. Thrown off, definitely Rob Heat, man. Bison is like ugh, another love to hate. I'm picking villains that just, oh man, I hate them. It's like, oh, if I could, I would just, but damn, if I can't appreciate them. Yeah. Especially in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. Um, yeah, Bison in that whole entire movie is just like, oh my god, like kill this man. Like, I hate him. I hate him. Serious, just no remorse whatsoever. I mean, from killing Chun-Li's dad to killing Gao's partner, um, to just abusing the hell out of Ken and Ryu towards the end of when they had that big fight and stuff. Even the fact that he powered down and they still were having a hard time beating him. That scene where Ryu was like throwing like mad punches and kicks, and he just dipping it and smiling at them. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, I don't think I've ever seen nobody just dip punches and kicks and just be smiling and laughing at the same time. I'm like, man, Bison's different. That's why he's one of the best on there and one of my favorites. So definitely, yeah. Street Fighter took me back. Yeah, right. Y'all probably weren't expecting some of these. If Nas is a hero, then Ghostface is the anti-hero. For real, Rissel? That's how you feel? I don't look at what Ghostface is from Wu-Tang. I don't look at Ghostface as an anti-hero. Not at all. Not at all. You might have to elaborate on that one. I need more detail on that one there. But yeah, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so let me see who else on my villain list. So oh, from Game of Thrones. Ugh. Cersei Lannister. Ugh. Ugh. My teeth grit. I hate Cersei. Ugh. And it's funny too, because like I had a conversation with my aunt about Game of Thrones because I finally, watched it because everybody kept talking about it. I'm like, okay, I got to see what the big deal is about this because people have been talking about it nonstop. Not that I was opposed to watching it, but just like I just never got on the wave. But Cersei, man, just you talking about like just a female savage. Like, God, I hated her on that. I was so glad. I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it. But, oh, man. Anybody that watches Game of Thrones knows exactly what I'm talking about. I hate Cersei Lannister. I hated her son, Joffrey. I mean, there's quite a few characters on that show that I hated. Ramsay, he was another one, too. He was close to being in my list. But Cersei, though, she's at the top of the list of like just that love to hate villain. But I don't know her real name. I forgot it. But again, plays that role to the max. So I definitely appreciate it. But she makes me hate her character in that show because oh my God, like just the way she talked, everything she did, her mannerisms, just yeah, yeah, that's how I feel. So that's how like, as I'm gritting my teeth, I'm just like balling my fist. That's how it's like these are great villains, great villains. So again, for everybody coming in, debate topic is heroes, villains, anti-heroes, the big three. There's the questions right there for you guys. I actually didn't even get a chance to check the voting poll. Let me see what everybody has chose so far. There's a voting poll if you guys want to go ahead and put those votes in. Let me see who's winning the poll right now. Let me see what we got. Because I did a voting poll earlier, to promote for this episode. So I want to do another one. Oh, Heroes at 48%. Okay, so Heroes in the lead. All right. Because when I did the first one, the pre-voting poll, anti-hero was in the lead. So now it's Hero. Okay. All right. So yeah, again, the first question for everybody coming in. If you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? That's the first question. Second question is which fictional characters and non-fictional would from the world of entertainment or just all around in general would you place into your Mount Rushmore? So again, you can do one of two different choices. You can mix and match your Mount Rushmore as well as an honorable mention, which would be like a top five. You can mix it up with heroes, villains, and anti-heroes, or you can do like what I'm doing, three individual ones for each specific one. So you could do Mount Rushmore for heroes, for villains, and for anti-heroes, and mention the honorable mention if you guys have one for each one, or just mix and match them. So yeah, while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna keep going. You said Belly Nas, Belly Nas. Who's that? From where? Again, yeah, everybody coming in, welcome in, welcome in. My favorite hero, Blue Marvel. Okay, all right, Blue Marvel. I've heard of that name. I don't really know too much about that character though. But okay, that's your favorite one though. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so let me see. I'm almost done with the villain list. Oh, here's another one, and this is a show I recently started watching, and I instantly became a fan. It's an anime called Demon Slayer. The Demon King on that show, Muzan uh, Kibusuji, man, he jumped the list because I was trying to think of another great villain. I started to put the Joker, but then I thought about him and like how much I hate him in that show, but I love his character because oh man, like again, savage. savage. Anybody that watches the Demon Slayer anime, y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, oh boy, Muzan is like, I mean, he puts all the other demons to like they don't even seem as like threatening like he does, and it's just like, and now with this next season coming, with this last one coming, because they about to split it up into like they're about to make it like a 3-part movie. Man, like when they get ready to fight him, I already know how crazy that's going to be. Who was the dude with the fire breathing form? Oh, you're talking about he's my favorite too out of all of the uh swordsmen. Um oh my god. Hold on. I see his face. Because he's always saying tasty, tasty. He cracks me up. Rengoku. Yeah, that's my guy right there. Yeah, Rengoku. You don't know Blue Marvel? I heard of him. I never really followed him. Okay. Oh, you talking about Nas from Belly? As like what do you categorize in his from? You talking about Sincere. What do you characterize him as, Rob? Let's see. Mike said villain. They all die in the end. I'm the Joker, good guy turned villain. Well, here's the thing though. Cause see, with Joker, and Joker's probably one of the most interesting villains because there's so many different every single like aspect of entertainment, they always have a different story for the Joker. Like you look at like the movies now with Joaquin Phoenix, who's actually doing a pretty good job, by the way. Even though I still prefer Heath Ledger. Like when it comes to the actors playing the role of Joker, Heath Ledger, I'm gonna say Jack Nicholson, uh, Joaquin Phoenix, and then Jared Leto. Jared Leto was terrible. We don't even really discuss him. But yeah, those are the top three though. But I mean, Heath Ledger set that bar high playing Joker. So it was Jack's until Heath Ledger came in, because I mean that is Joker inside and out. Anybody that really knows the true origin of Joker, that's him with the mouth cut and all. Yeah, that is definitely Joker for sure. But they have so many different backstories of Joker. Like, they say in one that Joker is actually the murderer who off Bruce Wayne's parents, and then they did say there was one part where he was actually a good guy, and then in the video game he was like a John Doe. So it's so many different like realms they go with his story. So it's like you don't really know what is which. But I don't know. I've never really like ever looked at the Joker as a good guy at all, though. So. But I mean, yeah. But now that they have that one story where he was kind of like a good guy turned villain. That does kind of work though. Villain 100%. Zebediah Kilgrave from the Purple Man. Ooh, oh man. Okay. Got me with that one. That's an interesting one. All it takes is one bad day to make a Joker. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. It was from the conversation about Nas earlier. Oh, okay. I got you. Yes, Mike. Heath Ledger, man. He's that bar was set high. It's like, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix. I saw the first Joker movie. That second one with where it was like more like the Broadway. That was terrible. They could have did without that one. But the one with Joaquin Phoenix, that first one, that was really good. But yeah, Heath set the bar really, really high. True, I'm the Heath Ledger Joker. Yes, he did. He definitely did. It's rest in peace. It's sad that he left this world so soon. Before he could really like get his career going and stuff. Jack warned Heath Ledger the dark side of the role. He did. He definitely did. But yeah. Joker was close. He was close to being in that my Mount Rushmore for villains and stuff. But yeah, Muzan from Demon Slayer. Oh my god, it was one episode I was watching where he was talking to these two females, and I think he found out about how he found out the key to gaining immortality was through what's the name's sister. I'm so terrible with the names on that show. Um, oh my god, I I see their faces, but I always like forget their names. Tanjiro, Tanjiro's sister, Nezuko. Yeah, he found out that Nezuko was basically kind of like how Blade is, like a daywalker. So he was talking to the two females, and they didn't even say nothing like ignorant or disrespectful. I don't know what one of them said, but like they're talking. Next thing you know, you just see like these claw marks go across the room and takes half her face off. I was like, damn. You know, you ever like be laying down, like relaxing, and then like you see like a scene and it just makes you sit up and your eyes like pop out your head, like, and you making that face like that's how it was. I was laying down watching it and I seen that. I was like, oh, I'm like, yo, he didn't even have to do that. I got to go back and watch it. I got to see exactly why he did it, but it was like, damn, dude, that's how you really feel. One of those, like, man, crazy, crazy. Mike said they were all good, but I identify with Heath Ledger version of Joker. Thank you, because I had this huge debate with my mom about this, and she was like, "You just stuck on Heath Ledger." I'm like, "Mom, like you don't understand. Go back and rewatch Dark Knight." Yeah, Heath did it. He did it. Joaquin Phoenix, he's a close call. He's a very close call. I give him that. You know, because even like all the preparation and everything for him to get into that role, I give him that. Eve, man, he did it. He did it. Especially that part where he fell off the roof and he was just laughing all the way down and stuff. And then he wasn't caught him. I'm like, man, yeah, I'm saying that's Joker. That is hella deranged right there. All right. JD Go say world domination is important. The Purple Man had the pheromones to control people's minds most of the time, just in his general area, but still pheromones. Bristol said the coldest line in any Batman film. You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight? Who said that? Remind me, because I heard that before. Did Joker say that? Joker said that, right? Or who was that? That was Joker, right? Please remind me, because damn, that's hella cold right there. My God, you ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight? Man, oh, that gave me chills right there. Swear to me, right. I love the villain. No one ever starts off as a villain. Villains are the product of overcoming a bully. They are. They are. It doesn't make it right, but sometimes I mean, it's just it's sad for like villains because they, especially the good turn bad, like the Jokers or even like Two-Face, for example, Harvey Dent, having that split personality. It's just like it's tough to kind of have that battle, with those demons, especially when they just like take over. It's crazy. It's crazy. That was Nicholson's line, wasn't it? It was it because I'm trying to remember because that line that was a deep line right there. Hurt people, as they say. All right, Rob, appreciate you coming through. Feel free to drop in anytime. That was Jack Nicholson. Man, yeah. That's why he's number two. Again, Joaquin Phoenix is good, but yeah, that's why I say it goes Heath, then Jack, then Joaquin. So yeah. All right, so that is my villain list. I gotta do my anti-heroes now. Um, yeah, great conversation, everybody. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. Okay, so let's see. For the anti-heroes. All right. And again, my list, there's not in any specific order, but yeah, I just was just thinking of off the top of my head. So for any heroes, I gotta go Magneto from X-Men. Just OG. Again, we already talked about it earlier, but I'm kind of circle back to it. Can't say nothing bad about Magneto. I mean, again, if you know his backstory, he was, in the Holocaust, got abused, got mistreated. He was taught to, love the human race and everything like that. But it's like after everything they did to him, you can't blame him for going the route that he went. And, again, even though he always, was a trusty advisor to Professor X, Charles Xavier, I mean, it's like you see what the humans are doing and stuff. It's like you're ignoring it. I mean, hey, you can't really blame him for leading the revolution and stuff like that. I mean, plus, I mean, just him being just a top 5 mutant, just being an OG, being one of the hardest ones to defeat. I mean, you what can you can't hate Magneto. If you hate Magneto, I mean, something's wrong. I mean, it's just OG. And again, I love that, you know, even though it might seem annoying to most people, I love how he always double dutch. He still was loyal to Xavier, but at the same time, he never ignored like how his feelings and how he felt about just how the treatment of mutants and stuff like that. Even though Xavier is saying we got to learn to love the humans, even though what they do is wrong, man. He was like, yeah, I can't agree with you on that one. So it's just like I love the torn rivalry between both of them. Tony Montana, anti-hero. We were talking about that earlier, Mike. I think Proud Mixed Child brought it up about Tony Montana. He actually gave some good insight on it. I don't know if I mean, from what he was saying, I kind of see why he was an anti-hero, but I'm gonna go back and watch it again because for me, it just seemed like he was like good guy turned villain, But after hearing Proud Mixed Child's explanation about it, it was like okay, I see why he kind of would fall into the category of the anti-hero. But because I guess in my eyes, I always just looked at him as like a villain, a very, very dope villain, like all the other ones we listed. Richful said Apocalypse in Krakoa, sorry. He led the mutant population. Yeah. Apocalypse, yeah, he was dope, but I mean, he ain't Big Eric though. Big Eric is just Big E. Magneto, man. That's the homie right there. I mean, again, I love Apocalypse. I love Mr. Sinister and stuff. Again, as villains and anti-heroes, but Magneto he sets that bar high up there when it comes to the anti-heroes, just within the X-Men realm. So he's definitely up there. Yep, good guy turned villain. Okay, because that's again. I mean, now that I'm getting more aspect on it, I can kind of see why he falls into the anti-hero category. All right, so yeah, Magneto, and then I mentioned who else? Oh, Dexter Morgan, from the Showtime series. Dexter, very dope. I mean, for him to be a blood analyst by day, a serial killer going after other serial killers at night. I mean, that's impressive. And as I'm like, because I'm almost done like watching all of the seasons and stuff. I actually took a break from it, but now I'm back to watching it again. But just seeing how he is like, and that takes a lot of work to be able to go after these people, take them out, do everything he's doing, and still kind of be like incognito in the shadows, all while working for the police, the same people that you're supposed to be helping bring them to justice, but you're taking matters in your own hands and doing it your way. And just it's so many times I'm like, oh man, he's caught. And it never happens. Like the people that are supposed to catch him still haven't caught him. I feel like it's only a matter of time. But just the way he's maneuvering and how he's doing it, it's just like, damn, that's impressive. Because it's like, man, he would have been caught already. You would have been caught. You'd have been tried, and probably given the chair or the gas chamber or the needle. I mean, for Dexter Morgan to move how he's moving, I mean, that's a level of commitment that it's just like, wow. I don't think most people have that. So yeah, he's definitely one right there. Yeah, the Punisher. Yeah, we mentioned him too. Anti-hero. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. For those coming in, the topic of conversation is the big three: heroes, villains, anti-heroes. First question is, if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? Second question is, which fictional characters from the world of entertainment would you place into your Mount Rushmore? You can also mention non-fictitious characters as well. But heroes, villains, and anti-heroes from all aspects, all forms of entertainment, you can add them in there. You can do a mixed match list, or you can do 3 separate lists for each specific one for your Mount Rushmore, as well as honorable mention if you have one. What do you think about Batman? Is he a hero or anti-hero? He is a hero because he hasn't killed anybody. If he killed people, then he'd fall under that anti-hero realm. But no, he's your standard hero. Same thing with Spider-Man too. Spider-Man's never killed anybody. I mean, the people, you gotta remember, like even in like the movies, the people they set themselves up to get themselves killed. He didn't actually like kill him, like stab him or shoot him or anything like that. Same with Batman. He's never done any of that. So the only way they would fall under the anti-hero realm is if like these enemies of theirs, they actually physically killed. If they get themselves caught in like an accident or something where they end up basically getting themselves killed, then yeah, that can't justify as anti-hero. But I see where you're going with it though. So yeah, it is very interesting though. But yeah, they get labeled as your everyday heroes. You'd be an anti-hero, DMG. Okay, and why would you be an anti-hero? Yeah, because you got to think about it, and the reason I'm mentioning um, like certain anti-heroes because they're the ones that they're taking matters into their own hands. Like they in their mind they're above the law. So they don't care what anyone says, they don't care what anyone thinks, they're going to do what they want to do. They're basically creating their own form of justice instead of following the code and the creed of what like cops or everyone else does, where it's like protect and serve. They're doing it in their own way, still protecting and serving, but just doing it from a whole different aspect than what they normally would and should be doing. So yeah, because again, I love Spider-Man. That's why I put him in my heroes Mount Rushmore. But he's never killed anybody, So and the same thing with Batman. He's never put in the position. He's probably wanted to kill, but never drove himself to do it. Same thing with Spider-Man. Heroes don't fix problems for good. Oh, okay. I would be that because I will get things done, and it doesn't look socially acceptable, but things will get done, and that's basically what anti-heroes are the representation of. Above the law, Judge Dredd. Oh, as what though? As what do you put him as? AIA, hero, villain, or anti-hero? I forgot all about Judge Dredd. Yeah, what would he be under? Because that's a good one. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so yeah, Dexter Morgan, he's another one. All right. I don't know if you guys how far back you go with anime and stuff like that from old school, but this is one that I feel like was very slept on. The character, he's a cop from New York. His name is John Estes. His nickname is Sleepy, but on the streets he's known as Mad Bull from the 34th Precinct. And this is a anime. It's actually on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. And I think they have like the old school manga tapes from back in the day. But he's another one. Now he's a cop that works for the police and everything. But instead of bringing like the people to justice and arresting them and locking them up, he's killing them. Like, you guys got to see it. It's like it's hella violent and stuff. But it's a damn good anime. It's on like 4 episodes or whatnot. It's a real short miniseries. But I mean, yeah, killing the all the criminals and rapists and all that stuff like that is wild as hell. And it's like, damn. And he has a partner that works alongside him named Dazabro. He's like Japanese and stuff. So he's basically trying to tell him, like, look, what you're doing is wrong. But at the same time, he doesn't look at it as wrong. He looks at it as justice. And again, epitome of what an anti-hero is, taking the law into their own hands, And he even says it on the very first episode. He's like, because he asked, I forgot, Dazaburo asked him something. He said, because I'm the law and, I make the rules around here. And he's like, no one's going to get away with anything as long as I'm breathing. So, and his motto is you live by the gun, you die by the gun. So again, it's wrong because as a cop, yeah, you're supposed to lock them up. You're supposed to bring them in. You're only supposed to, shoot or kill if, you're put into that position. But most of the time he's just killing them before they even like give him a chance to have to actually shoot and whatnot. It's crazy. Y'all gotta just watch it and check it out. Goku is an anti-hero? No, not necessarily. Vegeta is an anti-hero, and I'm actually glad you brought up Dragon Ball because I almost started to put Vegeta in my Mount Rushmore, but I had to kind of swap him out. Vegeta is an anti-hero because he still kind of balances that personal fight between good and evil. Like, you always see him. He's always angry. He's always serious and stuff. Of course, he was just true villain, but he eventually started to come around as he, during his rivalry with Goku, as well as all the other people that he started to build bonds with, like his family, having kids with Bulma and whatnot. But it's like at any given moment, he could kind of resort back to his ways. So you can see where it's that fight between good and bad that he still deals with and still battles with. Even like now that, he's more reformed and whatnot. But you said Goku's I got to see what you mean. Because I don't consider him an anti-hero. Spider-Man killed the finisher by returning a fired missile back to his tank. Okay. But even still, though, it's when we're talking about anti-heroes, we're talking about people who this is their lifestyle. It's one thing like if a hero is in a situation like that and they don't necessarily mean to do it, but they have no choice, versus an anti-hero who they're already set on their objective and their mission, which is like, I'm going to kill you by any means, by any and every means necessary. Like with that situation, what you're saying there, Mike Check, like that doesn't necessarily, to me, that doesn't warrant as an anti-hero because I mean, again, like even if you look at like the Spider-Man movies, remember the first one where what's name tried to kill him with the glider, Green Goblin, and he did the backflip and the glider killed him. Now, again, he didn't mean for that. He didn't want that to happen, but he was put in a situation where he kind of had no choice. Now, it would have been different if like if he took the glider and just stabbed Green Goblin with it, or if in the second movie where if he tried to just like purposely drown Dr. Octopus, then that's where it kind of falls into that anti-hero realm. So for a situation like that like just having like one or two situations where you kind of have no choice, that doesn't necessarily qualify as like being an anti-hero. But I get what you mean though. Actually, Thor, God of Thunder. Oh, okay. Goku Midnight Eye is anti-hero? Really? Y'all gotta elaborate a little bit more on these because these are some interesting ones. Anti-hero V and Vendetta. Oh, that's a good one, Susie. That's a good one. I forgot all about V and Vendetta. Oh man, that's a damn good one. Wow. All right, DMG says Goku falls under that anti-hero too unconsciously. He's not necessarily good. He's selfish and does things for his own desire to fight, not to save the day, just because he wants to fight stronger people. And Goku put the world in danger behind his selfishness, to want to fight by ignoring solutions that would make him not have to fight. Hmm. That's a good point. That actually is a good point. Um, I mean, but again, that's just the Saiyan race, though. DMG. They've always been like that, though. They've always been, fighters and competitive and combative. But and I get where you're going with it. But see, I mean, even though Goku still kind of has that mentality, you know, that's just his competitive nature. It's not like he's like purposely doing it, because you got to think about all the threats that he had to deal with and conquer. It wasn't like, okay, he was just looking just for a fight and whatnot. I mean, with some of those threats, you saw the position that he was put in. Now he could have just kind of been like, all right, whatever, and just joined forces with them. But it's like, no, you got to think about it the Frieza saga, Cell, Majin Buu, what was after that? What was like I don't really count that tournament one with Beerus and all of them. But even him, even Beerus, the same thing with Broly. So yeah, I get where you're going with it though. So yeah, but warranted. Like now, when Goku first came onto the scene, before he bumped his head, and they made him good. Yeah, he came off as a villain, but so in that sense, yeah, you could kind of almost say anti-hero, but not full fledged. Like he didn't just go on the rest of his life with the anti-hero mindset. It was kind of like bad for a slight moment, then turn good quickly and remain that way. But I get where you're going at with your analogy though. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, 1968 is old, but I get what you're saying. Okay. Uh, Vegeta a bad turn good beta. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Self-defense doesn't count. Exactly, because that's all it is. It's self-defense. Like if you think of, I'll give you a perfect example. Remember that movie Queen and Slim? If you ever seen that, where the cop was doing all that stuff to what's his name? I see his face. Dan Kalua, and they got into the tussle. He ended up shooting him and stuff. Again, an act of self defense and stuff. So situations like that, you can't really count those as anti-heroes, because those are like accidental. Versus like when people are actually killing these people, and it's not in self defense for their own self justice. That's where they fall into the anti-hero. The Cell games proves my point about Goku. Goku Midnight Eye is not DBZ, it's 80s. Oh, okay. So you see, I never followed that one, Midnight Eye. So that's completely different. I would have to look at that one. I'm basing it off of like the actual Dragon Ball TV series and whatnot. Okay. Very good conversation though. Donald Trump's the anti-hero. I can't agree there. No, I'm not a Trump fan. That you got now that one you gotta explain. You gotta explain how he's an anti-hero. I don't consider him an anti-hero, not in my eyes. But if you can elaborate more on that one, then I mean, like prove me wrong. But I caught me off guard with that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right, so oh, probably one of my favorites from Game of Thrones, Arya Stark. Man, OG anti-hero. I mean, again, she saw her family get killed, picked off one by one, took matters in her own hands. I do not blame her, because, back then, with how savage and ruthless people were during those times, I don't blame her for what she did. Again, and the reason she is such an OG is that scene where she poisoned the entire house of Frey when they were drinking the wine. And then it was that one little servant that was sitting in the corner and stuff, like shook, and she like rolled up on her and was like, "If anyone asks you, tell them that house, no, tell them that winter has come for the house of Frey," and put the hood on and walked off. I said, "Oh, gee, yes." Get them because they deserved it, because they were savage, because they were part of the reason why her family and friends got killed. So a situation like that, that's what I'm talking about with an anti-hero. I don't blame them for seeking much needed revenge. So yeah, Arya Stark, my favorite character in Game of Thrones, just OG. OG. And DBZ, if a villain is actually weak, Goku will do nothing because he wants to strike, fight strong people always. In other words, his motivation to fight is not to be a hero at the end of the day. Mm, okay, okay. Now I see where you're getting at. All right, okay. U.S. drone strike ordered by Trump kills top Iranian commander in Baghdad. uh, he's still a villain in my eyes. Because everything else that he's trying to do right now, I just I can't side with it. So uh, I mean I see where you're coming from, but I can't agree on that one. Trump's a villain. Nice hotels, but just just a villain. A villain. I mean, because if he wasn't, then why are people trying to off him? I mean, I don't feel like that assassination. People say that assassination was staged. I don't think it was staged. Superheroes make a lot of property damage along with the villains. I mean, they do, but look at some of these villains. Like, look at what they're doing. It's like, again, it's, I don't feel like heroes purposely do it. I don't feel like they purposely try to create damage and whatnot. I mean, again, it's just the situations that they're in, you know. I mean, that's every hero, you know, with the property damage and stuff like that. It's not intentional. It's just like, I mean, you got to look at who they're fighting. These are people that, like are like Thanos, snap the finger and the whole entire world is gone. Shoot a beam, the whole entire world blows up. So I mean, it's really the villain's fault. They're creating more property damage than the heroes. I mean, but at least some of the heroes, like the billionaires and stuff, at least they pay for it and stuff. They'll reimburse them and stuff. But I don't feel like they purposely do it. So I don't blame the heroes in that aspect. It's the villains that just ain't got no sense. So I mean, they kind of add to it just because of the fights that they're engaged in. You see those battles, you see how it really gets when those heroes and villains be squaring off, especially the high power ones with all the special powers and abilities. So it ain't really the hero's fault in that aspect. All right, so let's see, and I got two more for anti-heroes. So actually, you know what? I did switch and I threw Vegeta in there as my honorable mention. So we already talked about Vegeta from Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball franchise. Yeah, so Vegeta's in there. Actually, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so there's my there's my list for all the heroes, villains, and anti-heroes of Mount Rushmore and honorable mentions. There were also a couple notable mentions too that I thought about and I didn't add them in there, and some of them we did mention, but for like heroes and stuff, I mentioned Chadwick Boseman. Again, rest in peace. Just very dope. His impact, his influence, even outside of being the Black Panther. I mean, he did a lot, outside of, just the world of acting and whatnot. From the philanthropy to, stuff he did for like the kids and everything like that. Like just a major influence. I mean, so many different heroes, villains, anti-heroes. We mentioned quite a few of them. We mentioned the Punisher. You got Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. You got Harley Quinn. Let me see who else. I think my cousin. I might have missed his comment. I'm sorry if I did because the chat was flying. But I know he said, hold on, where was it? I think he said something about Wesker from Resident Evil. Hold on, let me go back up. See where was that? Yeah, my apologies, Merge, if I missed your comment. You know, being on this platform here, the comments they pop up a little quickly and they're like delayed at times. So, but I know you did say something about it. I just got so caught up in the conversation. Where is it? All right, hold on. I'm coming up on it. He said, oh, you said Wesker from Resident Evil was the best villain. You know what? Wesker, he's definitely up there. He definitely is. Um, he was this close to being in my Mount Rushmore for villains. Uh, Albert Wesker from the Resident Evil franchise, the video game. Uh, very very close, very close. Um, Especially in Resident Evil Code Veronica and Resident Evil 5. Oh boy, oh I hated him in that game. I hated him in that. But compared to some of these other villains, it was tough. It's very. I know it's challenging for a lot of people. It's very very tough to put you know to figure out who you're going to place amongst that list, especially amongst so many other ones. It can be very tough. It can be very challenging. But yeah, Wesker was very close. He was very close. But yeah, just not enough for me to put him in there amongst all the other people that I mentioned. But yeah, definitely in the conversation for villains. He was on my list. I mean, there's so many, so many. I was trying to think of some other notable mentions. I made a list because it was just too many. I couldn't keep up. I would say James St. Patrick, Ghost from the TV show Power. You got Walter White from Breaking Bad. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Let me see. Predator is another one. The Boss from the Metal Gear Solid franchise. The Clown, also known as the Hellspawn Violator from Spawn. Spawn was another one. Let me see. Agent Smith from The Matrix. I think you learn Robert mentioned him. So just a couple notable mentions. The Guyver, 8-Man After, if you guys ever seen that anime, very dope. Yeah, quite a few. Quite a few. Oh, Denzel Washington's character in Man on Fire, John Creasy, was another one. Notable mention. So I think that was pretty much most of them. And then like pretty much all the other ones that I have on this list are ones that you guys already mentioned. So yeah, definitely. I want to say Trump's in the anti-hero department. Okay. You said you and DMG said the same thing. Well, he did say why. Well, why do you feel like Trump is in that anti-hero category? Because I don't think he is. I think he wants to portray like he's a good guy, but in my eyes, he's just not. You know. Oh wait, no, not DMG. Mike, check. You said Trump's an anti-hero. I'm sorry, DMG was talking about Goku from Dragon Ball being an anti-hero. Okay. Kihai from Yu Yu Hakusho. I never watched that show. I gotta. That's something I gotta get around to watching. But I mean, I don't know. Personally, I can't put. I don't see Trump as an anti-hero. I mean, just not in my opinion. But I mean, if you guys feel like he is, definitely elaborate on it. But I don't know. I just he he hasn't done anything for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely throwing him in the mix. But yeah, again, to everybody coming in, um, the topic of conversation is heroes, villains, and anti-heroes. Um, Make sure that you guys click in that voting poll. of which ones that you guys feel are the best amongst the three. Let me see if any more votes came in. Okay. Just do a quick refresh. Welcome in, welcome in. Again, the questions are: if you had your choice between being a hero, villain, or anti-hero, which would you choose and why? That's the first question. Second question is: which fictional characters or non-fictional characters from the entertainment world would you place into your Mount Rushmore? You guys can do two choices. You can mix and match, where you put all three into one list as well as honorable mention, or you can do individual lists for all three. So it's up to you. The choice is yours. So for those coming in, okay, Wally said, I said Trump's is the anti-hero of the party because he does good things, but he's socially not accepted. That is true. That is true that people are kind of on the fence. So I mean, I see where you guys are coming from. I don't feel like he's done anything for me to justify him being an anti-hero. Trump is an anti-hero because half of America hates him, the other half loves him, and he destroys and lets the chips fall where they may. True anti-hero, he's a void of morality. Okay. Okay. You know what? Now that y'all said that, um, hmm, yeah, you know what? Yeah, he definitely has that anti-hero. Yeah. Now that I'm really thinking about it, because like I just said, I did say the 50-50. So you know what? Yeah, you guys are right. You definitely right about that. Yeah, he definitely has the anti-hero, because there's people that love him and there's people that definitely hate him. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, y'all might be right about that. I still label him a villain, but I see where you guys are coming from now. Leonardo DiCaprio for heroes, okay. And oh, Mosh, you said hero. Okay, so why do you pick hero, Mosh? And just trying to keep up with what everybody else is saying. Hopefully, I didn't miss any of the comments. If I did, my apologies. Uh, yeah, but this was a really good conversation, though, all around. We definitely learned a lot. Um, I definitely learned a lot. Um, Again, just like I said, I love to do these type of episodes because, like I said, it's fun, it's educational, it gives everybody the opportunity to have their voice heard. Whether you agree, disagree, or you're neutral. Again, it's fun, it's friendly. Like I said, it's just all great entertainment. But yeah, before I get ready to wrap it up, yeah, if anybody else, if you have any other comments, or if you're still answering your questions, feel free to do so. I've given my take on it. If you're still formulating your answers to the questions, you can definitely do so. But yeah, again, I appreciate all the continuous love and support. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this episode. Um, Next episode will be episode 28. That's going to be on Sunday, January 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about retro video game consoles. So all the old school consoles from back in the day. We're definitely going to have a nice little debate about that one. So, start thinking about every single retro video game that comes to mind. I mean, going all the way back, as far as your memory will take you guys. So, thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this great debate. This takes me back to college sociology class. Yeah. That's one thing I do. Like, I don't ever like to just do these episodes and not, have proper research and get up here and, just randomly talk about stuff that I don't know, and have people like what is he talking about? So it makes it more interesting. Like I said, everybody's learning from everybody. Really, Wally? Now you're just being funny. R. Kelly, an anti-hero? No, absolutely not. Hell no. Great music, Great music, but no. R. Kelly don't get no anti-hero pass. That is true villainy. No. I mean, I get why you're saying that, but nah, I don't know. I can. There's no good in what he's done. I good for the music, but nah. Too many hidden messages in that music and stuff that led to his villainous ways. He said R. Kelly, yeah, as an anti-hero. Hell no. And you know what's so funny? Like, we know everything he's done is wrong, and it's almost like we ignore it because the music, and it's so hard because I know people that literally have stopped listening to R. Kelly because of what happened. So it's kind of funny that you said that because I still put him as a villain, but I understand why you say anti-hero because it's like he gave us good music, but he did a lot of messed up ish. So I see why Wally said that, but I can't put him in that anti-hero category. As much as I love the music, as much as he had hits, as much as R was my favorite album out of his whole catalog, ah nah. Nah, what that was a good one. That was a good one. Oh man. Uh all things they say he did are wrong, only come from one side of the story without looking at the full contracts. Now, if you agree with what you done or not, that's another story, but those were volunteers. Um, I mean, I get what you're saying. There's always two sides to a story, but it I mean, contract or not, there's just certain things you just don't do, And R. Kelly messing with people underage, nah, that ain't gonna fly. I don't care what the clause was or what's in the contract. I do get what you're saying. I mean, they knew what they were doing, but I don't think that was every single one of them. You know, I mean, again, when it comes to that and like consent and everything like that, um, true, but still, that don't justify the fact that it's like he, come on, like you're R. Kelly, you're R. Kelly, like, and you were married. Even well, I don't think he was married the whole time. I think he eventually did get a divorce, but come on, there's just there's certain things you don't do, especially when you've reached that level. Like you're R. Kelly, you're R. freaking Kelly. You don't need to be doing that. Like, come on. So, you know, I get what you're saying, but nah, it's that still doesn't justify him doing that, and he can't get no pass for that. Same thing for other people like that. Same thing with Diddy and all these other guys, like Harvey Weinstein and all. Yeah, contract or not, come on, like that they're sickos for that. So all I can say is turn his situation around and reverse the genders, and then it'll be all another story. Yeah, yeah. You make a good point. You make a good point, but I gotta kind of argue the fact that it's like it still don't make it right though. I mean, like I said, there's women in his age bracket that he could have you know have relationships with and all that. Like, come on, you don't sit there and trick underage females into doing that type of stuff like that. And again, you got to remember, they're young, they don't know what they're doing. He could have been saying whatever, telling them whatever and stuff. That don't make it right. Doesn't make it right. You know how manipulative people can be, and he's definitely a manipulator. So I mean, it's just like how, like you got those strangers that are like, come here, hey, you want some candy, want some ice cream and stuff. They know what they're doing and stuff like that. And of course, the kids agree, and the next thing you know, so it's one of those type of situations. But no, I can't agree with anti-hero. No, I don't care how good his music is, you know. But I'm gonna always be a fan of the music, but I'm not a fan of what they do off, off outside of the music and their personal lives. I can't get with that. So nah, yeah. R. Kelly, I don't even call him R. Kelly no more. I call that man Bob. That's Bob now. He didn't lost all privileges to his stage name. He didn't lost the R. He didn't lost the last name and the period. He don't get none of that. Nope. That man is officially Bob now. He was Robert, and then as the allegations just piled up more and more, now he became Bob. He's got that plain name like a Home Depot worker. Yeah, that's Bob. So. Oh, appreciate the donation, Mike Check. Thank you for that. Thank you for the donations. Shout out to Mike Check. Shout out to Diamond Surge for dropping those donations. Truly appreciate it. But yeah, thank y'all. This has been fun. Again, make sure that you guys check out episode 28. I'm going to drop the link. Let me do a refresh because I want to see what the votes were for the voting poll. Glad you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Definitely some more debates to come. So, I just got to think of some more ideas and concepts to put together. So, yeah, let me go ahead and drop this link for you guys for the next one. And here you guys go. So there's the link for episode 28, Sunday, January 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA time for all my international people. Again, I appreciate all the continuous love and support. Big shout out to each and every one of y'all. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that notification bell. Anytime I go live, come through, kick your feet up, relax. My home is your home. You already know what it is. And remember the 4 beautiful things that make this world go round. Peace, love, positivity, and prosperity always. You said what, Bob the Builder? Exactly. Bob the Builder, the sick builder. Yeah. Sorry, Bob. Love your music, but yeah. You don't get no pass. Villain. Mike Check said it. Villain. Oh, man. But again, until next time, ladies and gents, I am your host, Big Daddy Beard. This has been another episode of the Debate Table. Much love, peace, and I'm gone.